Number 1b is another integral one. You may look at this and not really recognize that this is a u sub, which it is in this case again. But one thing we've done a lot of when we have powers in the bottom fractions is we write them as negative powers so that we can try to see if we see power rule at all. So I've got a 4 over x squared and a 1 over x. What I'm going to do is rewrite them using negative powers. So this is the same as 4 times x to the negative 2 times cosine of x to the negative 1. Now, you should see that ignoring coefficients, so ignoring the 4, that the derivative, we know that x to the negative 1 is power rule if we're going to derive it. So the derivative of x to the negative 1 is going to be something times x to the negative 2, because we drop it by a power. So that's kind of what I look for when I'm doing u sub, is I look for that power to go down by 1. Or I look for the derivative of the inside, the guts, which is what we've talked about a lot, to show up on the outside. So I got x to the negative 1, and then right here, and its derivative, or a multiple of its derivative, shows up out here. So what that tells me is that I'm going to let this be u, that x to the negative 1, derive it and work out my coefficients and see if I can make it work. So I'll do that right here. I'm going to let u equal x to the negative 1. That makes du equal, I get minus 1 times x to the negative 2, which notice that shows up, that's this guy right here. So there's a couple ways to do this. I prefer to say, well, I don't really have an x to the negative 2, I have a 4x to the negative 2. So, and notice it's also positive right there. So what I'm going to do is multiply both sides by negative 4 so that my x to the negative 2 is going to have the same coefficient as this guy. And then I can sub it. So what that gives me is minus 4 du equals a positive 4 times x to the negative 2. So from here, now I can go ahead and sub some things in. I'm going to sub this in right there. Notice that's exactly the same thing. So what I'm going to write instead is negative 4 du. And then I'm going to put this guy in right there. So I'll go ahead and do that. Maybe we'll do it in purple. So what I get is, I'll do this piece first. I get, oh, I forgot my integral sign. Oops. No, dx. Way to go. Dx. Alright, so I'm doing the integral of d negative 4 du times cosine of, my u is here, and that replaces that, cosine of u. Now, I'm going to scroll to here. And then, so I'm going to kind of reorder things. I got the du there, I got the 4 here, I got the cosine there. I'm going to actually pull the negative 4 out front of my integral. Integral of cosine of u du. What derives to cosine? Well, it's sine. Remember, sine derives to positive cosine. So this is actually, the integral of this thing is just a sine of u plus c, but I need to not forget about the negative 4. So the negative 4 shows up there. And now I am almost done. I just need to sub in this x to the negative 1 as u for this u right here. So I get, and I'm going to write it as a fraction because that's the way it was given to me. So I'm going to write it as negative 4 sine of, I could write x to the negative 1, but I'm going to write 1 over x because that's how it was given to me, plus c. That's all.